And some of you have ever so graciously asked about our baby registry. I went ahead and linked it down below. We have it on private right now, but I did want to share with you because I do plan on having an online shower, and I've actually had some people offer to help me plan with that. So if you're interested in getting us a gift, which you do not need to feel pressure to, I am providing it because it was asked for from my internet aunties and uncles. That link is down below. Hey y'all, it's your girl Dr. Nina, and I'm so excited for today's video. If you can't tell, I got a burst of energy. The little baby done gave me some energy, I guess. So I wanted to make sure that I share with y'all today. And this is my first pregnancy Q&A since my pregnancy announcement about 2 months ago. And for those that don't know, I am at this point about 26 weeks pregnant. So I'll be headed into 3rd trimester here soon. Whoa, okay? This is my first pregnancy, so I'm new to this, but I'm true to this, okay? And I'm gonna share with y'all some of the things that I've been encountering, what I've been going through, and some of those ups and downs, and some of the things I look forward to. But first of all, I'm really answering your questions. These were questions sent to me on Instagram and here, and I'm grateful for it. So I want to make sure that I foster a conversation, not just answering your questions. So I'm going to work them into conversation like my girl, Miss Vaughn TV does. I did reach out to her and ask her if it was okay for me to do it in the style that she does, because I just love how eloquent it is and how fun and engaging it is. So she said that would be fine. So we gonna work into a conversation today. And I also need your help, y'all. I'm out of the algorithm because your girl has not been posting like she should, but we're trying to get back on track. So go ahead and click that like button, go ahead and subscribe, and click on them notifications so that you know when I post. It makes it simpler to support the channel, and it also makes sure that we continue to bring the best content possible. Now let's get into this pregnancy Q&A. So y'all about to see your girl looking over here because my questions are on the computer, and I like to talk, and I want to stay on track, give you what you need. So that first question is from Kay Price. She says, first, congrats. Hey girl, hey, thank you. She says, may I ask how old you are? Ever so eloquently, she asked. Absolutely. I will be 40 this month, which is why it's the title of the video, Pregnant at 40. I will be 40. I'm a Libra. September is my month, baby. So I am super excited. And the reason why I'm excited for 40 is because I know that it's usually a scary milestone for people. I think 30 and 40 are usually those scary milestones. But look, I'm excited. Your girl took the time to do what she needed to do for her. Not only in my life, spiritually, physically, emotionally, but career-wise, friendship-wise, family-wise, and then even meeting and marrying my husband. I didn't get married till I was 38 years old, and I'm so happy that I've had those developmental milestones. I know that sometimes hearing that can be scary for some people, especially if you desire to have children. Everybody don't desire to have that. But I know for me, it was a very real thought, and it was a very real thing, especially when I met my husband. I was never the person that all my life I'm just talking about getting married and having a child. No, because baby, I was on the grind, on the hustle. Do you hear me? Check me, Google me, okay? But I definitely knew when we were together, I knew that a little one in our likeness and God's likeness was something that I wanted and desired. And so I was blessed with that at this age. And so I couldn't be prouder to get this culmination, to have gotten this far with other things that I've wanted for my life first before bringing life into this world. And I do not take it for granted. And I think that leads into something else, right? So the question that is it Adan Kimka asks is, did you freeze your eggs? And I know that that question gets asked, especially when people know what my age is. I'm gonna say no, I did not. Now, if you want to know my full fertility story, I have a video. I'm gonna link it somewhere here or place it down below. I did go through half the cycle of IVF because we ended up spontaneously conceiving halfway through IVF. Thank God. That was just such an awesome thing. But I do realize the gamble you take when you wait. I made that decision, but I'm going to encourage you all, if you have the means, if that's something you think you want to do, then please freeze your eggs, preferably before the age of 35. But even if you can't do it until right after, do it, okay? If you know you want children. Now, let me be honest here. I was never just that I know I want to have kids person. I wasn't sure I wanted to have babies. And so for me, it really didn't get stronger. That urge didn't get stronger until I had the person in my life that I knew I wanted to be with and that I wanted to build and grow a family with, and that was my husband. And I didn't meet him until after, well, I met him when I was 34, turning 35. I met him right before my 35th birthday. We got married when I was 38. And so it was interesting for me. That was the strong thought at that point. And I knew it was because I had done the things I wanted to do for my life. And now I was joining with someone who was secure and stable, who I love. And I wanted us to have a reflection of us. So did he. And it worked out. But I do say, if you have the means to freeze your eggs and that's something that you know you want, there's no harm in it. And that leads right into the next question from Key. She said, was it hard to conceive? What I will say to you all is I'm kind of impatient. So to answer the question biologically, because we know how that happens, no. It was not, because we ended up conceiving naturally, and it wasn't very long into our marriage. So we got married in December 2021. We conceived in March of 2023 after trying since that summer before, really getting serious about trying. So it really didn't take us very long to conceive successfully. However, what I will say is it was hard mentally, because you're already thinking about what are the odds against you. You do have to consider your age. There's nothing wrong with that. And you should also consider other factors. For me, I had a pretty good factor list, right? My health is pretty good, you know, taking good care of my temple. My husband's health is good. So we had a very good variable there. We had good variables that worked together. The doctor that we sought out in order to seek IVF didn't even push us into it because of those factors. My egg stores were pretty good and strong. My hormone levels were good. I didn't have any illnesses. My husband didn't either. So we really had unexplained infertility for the short time that we tried. So we went more aggressive with IVF, and I'm happy we did. I'm happy I had that. It was mentally harder than it was physically. You know, your body knows what it needs to do. As long as there's no medical things that need to be worked out, which is okay if they should. I know people that have, and they've gotten to where they wanted to go. I think it's important to keep in mind your mental through this process, so you're not psyching yourself out, so you're not thinking too hard, you're not too hard on yourself. Because once I let go of that control, y'all know I am spiritual, so once I let go of that control and I gave it to God, it happened. It happened how it was supposed to happen, and it couldn't have happened more perfect. So I won't say that my story was that it was hard, but mentally I did get to a point at some point where I would psych myself out. But that's why it pays to have a wonderful partner who loves you, who sees those things, and who can relax you and help you feel better, help you think more clearly, and help you to know that you're doing the right things in order to get to where you want to go. So hopefully that answers that for you. And Valana asked the question straight out, did you have to go through any fertility treatment? And that answers that question. I started off with fertility treatment and ended up during the process conceiving naturally. Yeah, and I have that story linked below for y'all and in the cards of this video. Now, our girl Timmy, she says, what did you do to prepare for pregnancy? What a great question. It's years of preparing, right? So I didn't just decide last minute that I wanted a child. You know, even though I told y'all I never was like so hardcore about wanting a child, being adopted, it was such an abstract thought. And I was thinking maybe I want that. And I thought about the things that might come along with that. But what I mean is early on, I made some decisions to be more healthy. When I was in my 20s, I lost over 100 pounds. I've kept it off. Exercising, eating well, of course, treating myself here and there. Also reducing my stress load. Choosing a career that I actually enjoyed and did not hate to make money. Also keeping outlets like YouTube in order for me to feel sound and to share the things that I was learning along my path and my journey. So I can say that that preparation didn't begin overnight. It had to begin with me deciding to live a more healthy life. More so too, the people you connect yourself with, because I had to also decide that, you know, a lot of relationships had to be let go of. I had to leave empty-handed, if you will, from some of the romantic relationships I engaged in. But I had to make those decisions in order to move me closer to the right mate so that I would feel secure in producing a child. That question is kind of layers, honey. To me, it's kind of layers. But I will say waiting and paying that cost, but also preparing while waiting, okay? And doing your best to take care of you for you makes it easier for you to be able to produce and to prepare your body well for pregnancy. And that leads into a question from Brittany. Brittany says, can you please describe your experience being 30 plus and pregnant for the first time? Now, what I will say is I don't have much to compare it to. And I'm blessed to have conceived in my 30s and be heading into my 40s before giving birth. But I will say, look, pregnancy for me, in speaking with my 20-something friends, speaking with my 30-something friends and my 40-something friends who have all conceived and had children, I feel like it's the same, okay? And because I wasn't pregnant in my 20s, again, I don't have anything to compare it to. And also because I live more strategically and more healthfully, I can definitely say that I feel pretty good. And when I listen to my friends of their various ages that are also healthy, I've had the same experiences. So to be clear, in my first trimester, I had a lot of nausea. I had a lot of tiredness. I also had a lot of sleeping issues sometimes. But other than that, it has been very smooth. I've managed to work out almost every day and I'm in week 26. My blood pressure has stayed around 112/74. The baby's heart rate and heartbeat has been excellent. I am going to be having a glucose test to check for gestational diabetes here soon, but we praying over that. We not trying to have that. My doctor has also told me my weight gain levels have been excellent. To have a healthy pregnancy at this stage and to hear that, oh, it's so hard to do, I don't know if I believe it. I think if you've been taking care of yourself and you've watched your health and you stay prayed up and you stay close to people that keep you uplifted, it can be just as good or just as bad as others at various ages. So being this age, I feel good about it. I feel more solid as well. I feel like I'm ready to teach someone, to give to someone. I don't feel like I have to compete. I feel like I am a mama, right? Like I feel like there will not be any comparison in terms of being a mama, being a friend, and maybe we will get to the point where we're friends. But I can definitely say that that has been something that has been just huge for me to have that feeling. And that brings me back to something, and this is where halfway through I'm going to add in something that was said to me. I had commented on another video. They were talking about women who decide to be child free, which I think that's a wonderful movement too. If you're not getting what you want and you've decided that you don't want to have children, decide on it. Like I told y'all, I was not heck bent on having a child at any possible cost. I thought about doing it on my own, and over time that wore away until I had someone in my life that I felt comfortable with and solid with. But what I will say is a person, based on me talking about my experiences and waiting until I was 40, which for some, I might as well have been child free, right? Because I spent all those years dedicated to myself and then to building a family and marrying my husband. But I will say, someone made the comment that that's very selfish of you. Good luck, because your child is going to be 20 when you're 60. And okay, and we will be good and retired and sitting back and counting our money, and also being able to be very wise with our child. And not only that, we will also probably have the time to foster a relationship with them that is meaningful. I don't know what tomorrow may bring, even if I was 10 years younger, but I can tell you what, right now, I know myself. I've grown myself. I have done it. I have made it in every way possible. And my child will benefit from that. So whether or not I'm 100 when they're 20, baby, they're gonna be just fine. Don't worry yourself, okay? So with that said, I know that age can be a big thing, especially when we think about being 30 or 35 plus in this thing. But I can say it's brought along a lot more stability for me in every single way. And I've been able to deal with my demons and my angels. And I'm ready to give that to someone else. So that's where we are. So the next questions were very similar, but I thought in entering this Q&A, this would be best. So Timmy got her questions in, baby, again, and Lisa, they asked very similar questions. So their questions were, how do you plan to balance your successful career with a baby? And then also, what is your plan to balance being a wife, mother, and working professional? And I see those working together. So the first one, as far as my successful career, y'all, God has blessed. And when I tell y'all, I couldn't have planned this thing better. I couldn't have planned it better. So I became Dr. Nina. Right there, girl. At the age of 27. And I went straight into the professorate, which you guessed it now, I'm in 13 years. So I have reached the top level of the professorate. So if you don't know, definitely look into it. I know I've had a lot of people ask me about careers in higher education. Not only that, I also went into a career where I had options. So I'm not only that, but I'm a licensed psychologist, clinic director, licensed clinical and school. And then also I earned a lot of other credentials and certifications along the way, and then climbed up the ranks. So within my profession, you start off as what we call an assistant level professor at tenure track. And tenure track means after a certain amount of time, if you show your viability to the university through research, through service, through community outreach, and many other things, you are awarded what we call tenure, okay? When you look up tenure, baby, you will see what it's all about, but it gives you the benefits and the perks of being more solid in your position. Not only that, I wanted to go further, and I knew before the age of 40, I wanted to be a full professor, which is the top level professor that you can be. That is what we call just professor. I became assistant, associate, and then full. I got full professor about 2 years ago now, almost, and that was early. The average full professor is about 55 years old. So when we talk about being at the top of your career, I wanted to solidify those things for myself first, and I had wonderful mentors that told me that would be awesome for me. And the great thing about university life is it's already so flexible. So going into having a child, I don't have as many qualms or scariness about childcare, about, you know, being able to be around with my child, about being able to take them to doctor's appointments or spend time with them. Now I see the fruits of my labor working so hard so early. I started school at the age of 17. I didn't end that until the age of 27 with the PhD, and then went even further with getting licensures and certifications. What I can say now is that has paid off. That has paid off. Being at the top of my game means I get to call a lot of the shots. I was able to turn in my leave forms and say, wow, I get to take off a large amount of time and be gone, which I don't even feel like it's taking off because I love what I do. I love being a professor. I love teaching, but I also love directing a clinic. And so I'm able to be flexible with that. What I will say is the way that I'm balancing that is I really don't feel like I have to. I've done the hard part. I've done the part that gets you to the top. And so therefore I'm able to sit there and I'm able to watch what I want to do and help others get to that place while I'm still living my life, while balancing the other part, being a wife, a working professional, a mother. I haven't experienced motherhood yet, but I had one of the world's best mothers, and she gave so much to me. And being adopted, it means so much that someone took out of their life to be there for me from the age of 3 months old. So the way I plan to balance it is by giving that child everything that they can. But first, which my mother taught me to, giving to myself so I can give freely to my husband and to my child and to my family so that we're able to be a cohesive unit. But first, it starts with me. The self-care, the love of self, the business that I run, my work life cannot end. Those are all a part of my health. And so in order to keep achieving those goals and in order to still give to my child and to my husband in the best way possible, I have to continue to not fight, but to balance those things in a way that makes sense for my life at that stage. I've already had to start doing that, right? Being pregnant has taught me a lot about having to take some time off, having to sit down, having to not be able to post as much on YouTube. I hate that, but we getting back to it. But I'm learning so much and growing so much while doing that I think the balance will come naturally. I've had to balance a lot of things in my life. I've mothered. I had a good friend of mine tell me that before. You may not have been a mother to a child yet, but you've mothered so many things. And I have to remember that because I've mothered a business, a career, a relationship, multiple relationships in various capacities. So now I know that I'm ready to continue to give at that level and balance the way that I'm doing it. So hopefully that helps with anyone that's thinking about how they're going to balance these things. So for this last segment, a lot of you all were inquisitive about like my medical needs and some of the things that I've been going through more medically. And that leads me right into a question from Brown Sugar, who says, what vitamins did you start taking before and during your pregnancy? So I'm gonna have to take it back, honey. Back when I was 17 years old, my pediatrician put me on prenatal vitamins, and she made it clear to me that it was important for me because I had these long periods, y'all. So I was definitely losing, I guess, a lot of vital nutrients. So she educated me on the need for prenatal vitamins, how they work in the system, what they do for you. If you don't know, and prenatal vitamins have come a long way, they are power packed, the good ones, with vitamins A, E, K, C, D, a lot of them, but you have to check. They do a lot of things for the body to make sure that you're nourishing not only your overall self, but also the things that help with your womb and supporting a baby. There's enough vitamins for two, but it has to be the right vitamins, okay? I started taking those when I was like 17 years old, and I've always been kind of on and off with them, but more on than off. And I was still taking them when I went into deciding to conceive. So I've remained on prenatal vitamins, which have been vital for the baby's health. When asking that, that's been the one thing that has been very tried and true for me. Of course, I've tried things like AG1, Xnara, some other things where I am able to get my prebiotics and probiotic levels up. And I've tried various other things, but the one thing that has stayed tried and true for me has been prenatal vitamins. I like the Mary Ruth Organic, as well as Rainbow Bright has some of the best ones. And then there's also the chewy ones. I think it's by Rainbow Bright, or maybe for another one, but I'll make sure I show it here for you all. Those have been great because I'm getting most all the nutrients that I need. And you'll want to consult with your doctor too to make sure that they agree with the prenatal that you've chosen, because it should have a lot of the things in it that are going to nourish you and the baby correctly, and also make sure that, you know, their brain and development and everything else is going the way that it should. Mine also have omega-3s in it, so it really does add a power punch pack to those nutrients. And that leads me into the last question for this episode, or this pregnancy Q&A, but from Trina. She said, are doctors listening to your concerns? Proper Black maternal health care is lacking. And yes, we do know it is lacking. But what I will say to you, and I'm going to talk more about this in future episodes, is that I did a lot of research, and I was not just choosing a doctor because everybody said they were good or cute, or they were at this best center, or they were close by. I did research to see how these people treated people who look like me. Now, if you don't know, at the age of 35 or older, you will have to have a second doctor. This is called your high risk doctor, because no matter what, after the age of 35, you're of advanced maternal age. And so you want to make sure that you have someone else putting eyes on you and on baby to make sure everything is on par. So the doctors that I have been very sensitive to my needs, even to my birthing plan. I have told them very openly some of the things that I desire and some of the things I do not desire. Okay, because I don't want any surprises unless there has to be a surprise. And they have been quite attentive. They've talked to me about benefits and risks to the things that I want, to the things that our family wants. And it also has helped that my husband has been there for every step of the way. He's been at every appointment, every ultrasound, everything. And so that has helped also for us to make sure that we're making healthy decisions together. And also for me to feel supported when I'm telling the doctor, I don't want to do that, or I want to do this. Okay, because my husband's going to listen, he's going to look, he's going to research, he's going to watch, and he's going to support me. So it's important too in these processes to have the support that is necessary for you to feel like you can even talk to doctors and be educated on your given situation so that you can make the best decisions possible for you and baby and your family. Hopefully that helps y'all. And that's all that I have for today. That's my first Q&A. Hopefully that kept y'all engaged, light, airy, and fun. We gonna dig deeper next time as well. So make sure you get your questions in, ask them on Instagram, ask them here so that I can make sure that I screenshot them and get you the answers that you want. I try to make sure that I look over all of them. And if there's duplicates, I'm even answering questions related to those. So y'all, thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you comment. I want you to make sure you share this video, especially with those that can use the upliftment and more who want to learn more about this or just want to hear about it. You might not even want kids, but this is just good information. Also, make sure you subscribe and click that notification bell so you know when I upload and you don't miss an episode. All right, y'all, have a nice day, week, year, whatever it is. Beautiful brown baby doll. Peace.